Hi everybody, and for all of you that are out there thinking about being inventors, let me just one of the most common pieces of advice that I find myself giving on introductory phone calls with new clients is a piece of advice about what it really takes to start a product-based business. And so I'd like to take a moment at the request of my wife to go ahead and capture that, because that's a big important piece of free advice that I give people. And it's become pretty standardized, so I'm just going to tell it. And in the background, let me first of all give some credit to Zip HD. Thank you for showing us the video. He has a wonderful collection of videos of new product innovations, companies that are launching and trying to find success, and it's really an amazing collection. So he's a wonderful inspiration, great channel. Please hit subscribe, like I have done here. There we go. So, the videos that he shows and that he's able to collect and are really what it takes to launch a business. Once you make a product, once you have an idea is great, right? Your idea is very good. You might even be able to patent your idea, which costs you some money and time. But, an idea is something. And then you invest enough to turn that idea into a product, to really develop it to a point where you've got one, it works, you can put it in front of somebody and use it. Or maybe make a commercial like the ones you've seen here, are looking at here from Zip HD. If you've invested enough to do that, then that's great. You've spent a lot of money doing that, I'm sure. Then you can't make money until you sell it. Like, selling is the key of starting a product-based business. And if you can't answer the question of how are you going to sell your product once I make it for you, then I really don't want to make anything for you. And that's kind of the first conversation with people. Also, selling it necessitates that you have done a mass production run in order to get the cost to a point where you might be profitable. As you'll find out in the development process, making prototypes is not cheap enough to sell them profitably. And that's just the reality of it. I can't change that a whole lot. But once mass manufacturing, you also find out is expensive. Like, going into mass manufacturing takes a significant upfront investment. The tagline I use most often is that it's a car, and not just like a used car or your first car. It's a nice car, like a new BMW, maybe even a Lamborghini if you've got a really hot piece of consumer electronics. But easily, it's even developed companies have a hard time raising enough upfront capital to fire up a new manufacturing supply chain, basically. Like, that is a very real barrier to entry for entrepreneurs looking to make product-based businesses. Manufacturing startups are expensive, and almost everybody, even existing businesses wanting to start a new product line, have to go find fundraising and get investors to start up manufacturing. This is true. They can often you can develop the product, you can do engineering, you can do some market research, you can do some marketing, you can do some initial sales pretty well on what I would call personal budget, like under the price of a new BMW. Something that people might be able to afford if they properly applied their finances to it. That can be done. But then going into mass manufacturing, everybody needs help with funding. So fundraising, as you can see in these videos that Zip HD does such a good job of collecting, fundraising is a serious gig. Like, fundraising is kind of what they're doing here, except for the ads. Let's skip that. Sorry about the ad. Here, let me bring you back to the beginning, because this guy's is really funny. Let me just watch this guy. He's great. Come on, load already, internet. Sorry, it's slow where I'm at. Anyway, so
imagine if you didn't have to get your phone out for every little thing. What if there was a simpler
yeah,
way
you see,
to
he's a
interact
great example of this is what it takes to sell your product, or even to get investors. Like, he's really trying to get investors. That's what he's doing. He's not selling this necessarily, or a whole lot of them. It's expensive to mass produce his product. The circuitry is expensive. Each one of these Wi-Fi chips he's got in that thing probably costs him $10 just to build the PCB board, and so each one of these has a pretty big sunk cost in them that you have to put up front when you want to order 1,000 of them. And so think about 1,000 of your product, and at your manufacturing cost, that's still a lot of money. And then their upfront tooling to make that little plastic cap, like the steel tool that makes that plastic button he's got, is probably, actually that's really small, so that's maybe $1,000, $2,000. Now the steel tool that makes the headphones he's wearing, Like that set of tooling, that's easily in the realm of 30,000 US dollars to invest in the tooling, invest in the metal that makes those plastic parts. In the industry, we like to say that, you know, your first part costs you $50,000. Your second part costs you 50 cents. And it is that kind of dynamic, you know, because you have to invest in the tooling. I've got a good blog post somewhere. If you go to my blog, yeah, if you come to my blog, there's an article about this dynamic, why cheap plastics is so expensive. And so I tried to put that in a picture for you. I don't know why it's not loading now. Oh, it's because you've got to support me with a click. There we go. And then, so there's a whole graphic here that's basically trying to say that as you decrease your cost per part, you know, when you're making a one-off prototype, the cost for that one part is pretty high. Like a 3D printed prototype of this phone case, as the example goes, might be $100, right? Like totally affordable. You can do that, but nobody's gonna buy it from you then for $100. Like that's just too expensive. So in order to bring your cost down to more like $1 for that phone case, or maybe 50 cents for the plastic, in order to bring it down that far, you have to invest up front a huge amount of money to make this big giant metal tool, and that's the thing that is so expensive when you are starting up a manufacturing supply chain, that giant metal brick that's precision engineered and precision cut and of high quality steel. That thing's expensive. But once you've got one, start making millions of parts, and that's the idea, and those parts will then become very cheap. So this is the upfront cost. That's why you need this level of cute video to attract enough investors to put up that kind of upfront capital, which is often easily $50,000 to $100,000 is often the estimate for a piece of consumer electronics. And then, there are some other key numbers I might share. Like if you look at each of these businesses and you dug into their background, you'd probably find that each one of these has been spending maybe a year, 2 or even 3 years to get to this point, to get to the point where they've got this awesome pitch video, and they've spent maybe $10,000, $20,000 of their own money to get to this point. Making this video is expensive. This is probably maybe a $5,000, $10,000 video just to make that, with a production crew and the warehouse he's got and the editing, and like it's not cheap to do it well. But you can also do a lot of it on your own. You can reduce a lot of costs by taking things onto yourself. Maybe his family and friends are the ones helping with this, and he's maybe got the equipment himself and does video on the sides. Like those kinds of arrangements and those kinds of connections are really useful to an entrepreneur that's in a startup phase. At 123 Designs, we try and provide that particular service. We are a professional engineering service that is ready to take your idea and help you put it in front of investors. Like we can help you make it, develop it, get it ready to work, and put it and make it in a low volume in a way that you can use to make this kind of video, and then find some funding and then really see success. An example of that success back on our blog might be Murano and the Rhino comb story. Check his story out and the product we developed, and his story really shows like there's a significant amount of upfront investment it takes to then sell these, but Murano now is doing $1 million in revenue of barber products. Like how awesome is that? He's a total rock star. Check him out. Anyway, so again, my name's George. Thanks for watching this. And I hope that if you have an idea for a product-based business that you'd like to start, feel free to contact me. That's what we're here for. Oh, and also, you saw me subscribe to Zip HD. If you could subscribe to my channel here, that'd be awesome. Really appreciate it. Thank you.